ebusiafo ya mu nyina akwa bi ma for once ni na Sabri adefa seat ahodo a NPP MPs for no lose your parliament no and the majority chief whip honorable Roxanne Dafiama po akopimu with TV so all be church in senimu ya chempa na office with one of NPP MP actually be can say on a minority legal council in parliament on the face one just some meeting of boot for boot with the mra and on babeka not knowing say sir a year honorable Dafiama po any NDC for SRD a 2 seats I just say echo a year high court a big crowd for dia court anything see almost Suhum and Tema Central sa case no ediko a high court entenance massa sitting also no only say there are a lot of illegalities at a course where ama these MPs our people our parliament almost to say they don't deserve to be their constituencies representatives such as anyas and not knowing na obianim say omo de sa sitting na asa court beam yenkonkuti any process omo fa so asa de agesa sitting every NPP reference.
We were contesting the outcome in Tema Central, Okankwe Central, Okankwe, I believe, Ablekumanov.
Yeah.
Domi
Kwabenya.
We're contesting the outcome in Obuasi East. We're contesting the outcome in Techiman South. We're contesting the outcome in Damongo. We're contesting the outcome in Pandai. We're contesting the outcome in Akutia.
That's more than 10.
Yes, Akutia. Yeah. We're contesting the outcome in Suhum. We're contesting the outcome in Sawoma Dwajiri. We're contesting the outcome in let me mention you. There was one more constituency in the north. So we had about 11 to 13 or 14 seats. So at a point, you remember that EC had to be shifting collation centers from the constituency centers to regional collation centers. We're on TV, we're contesting the matters. We went to the High Court, we went to the Supreme Court, back to the High Court, all that. So eventually, 6th of January came. The life of that parliament had to come to an end. And so the Electoral Commission eventually had to put its house in order to submit names to Parliament for purposes of the 9th Parliament being given birth to. So in the morning of the 7th of January, or that dawn, before we were sworn in, there were a lot of issues. There were heated debates. And we told the NPP that some of the seats that you use executive power to take from us, for instance, that the ballot boxes.
You mean 2024, 2020?
Yeah, no, in 2024, that ballot boxes in Akutia could be taken from Akutia in a convoy with a motorcade and brought to Tesano Police Depot for results to be declared. We will use proper judicial means to reverse all those. So we went to court. Now, Pandai is one of the cases. As we speak, Suhum is also in court, the Kofodia High Court. We are hoping that next week a decision will be delivered. People don't know, but we'll be quiet about it. We are in court in Tema Central. People don't know that we are in court. So, but this matter.
And in all of these cases, are you seeking for a rerun of particular polling stations?
We have placed our case before the court, and we have specific prayers, so that if the court find favor with our evidence, that will lead, and that will be recanted, and based on the probative value of the evidence and the law, if the court come to the determination that a certain pronouncement be made in pursuance of NDC law 284, that is the People's Representation Law, then there can only be 2 or 3 outcomes. The election can only be annulled, confirmed, or otherwise. So in Mandai, now the case of the NPP in Mandai is very, very interesting. On the 6th of January, they brought an application for, by way of a preliminary legal point, that the petition be dismissed.
I've seen a number of them, more than
that the petition I have all of them here. That the petition be dismissed on certain stated grounds. That application failed. Now, eventually, the Electoral Commission, I've seen them brandishing some 24th December Gazette notification. But they have forgotten that the Electoral Commission put its house in order and eventually released a Monday, 6th January Gazette notification. This was the Gazette notification that we rely on in Pandai. And they came to court brandishing the 24th December Gazette notification.
So if this is 6th of January 2025 and you filed your case in court
on 25th.
25th,
yeah,
right?
We were in time.
So you were within.
Time.
What you're showing.
Well, we know our calculation. Our mass is not that bad. So you see, by the 24th, the EC was not done with the other seats that were in contention. So they could not have released a comprehensive Gazette notification covering all the 276 seats at the time. So this was the Gazette notification containing all the seats in Parliament. So this is what we rely on in court. They brought the 24th December one. The court rejected it.
Based on what grounds?
Based on the ground that was not the final Gazette notification from the EC. The EC testified that this is their final Gazette notification.
So how many Gazettes did the EC do before we arrive at this final one or this?
I am unable to say. But in any case, even if the EC released several Gazette notifications, the last in time will take precedence over all the previous. That is right. That is law. So the fact that they are still insisting that there's a certain 24th December Gazette notification, but they are concealing this material fact from everybody, that there's a 6th of January Gazette notification is what is very baffling to me.
Okay, I'll come back to you on that point, and I see you have a number of evidence and that you want to go through with us. But let me bring in John Darkon on this very information that you are putting out there. I see it here, and the date here is Monday, 6th of January 2025. This was EC's final gazettes. And John Darkon, I don't know if you have seen this, document, because the NDC was way outside the bracket of the 21 days statutory, framework that has been given. But what I see here is 6th January 2025, which technically means that the NDC was within time.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm sure we are done with all the courtesies, so straight into business. My brother is, they started by saying that the NDC, were pursuing a lot of cases in court using judicial means to collect all the cases. I don't know whether my brother can tell me on record how many of the cases they won in court. So far, at least by my counts, none of their cases survived in the courts. And all the seats that they were actually fighting about through the court process, they lost all.
How many cases do you know in terms of the data that you have?
Oh, but he listed Tema Central. He listed, in fact, my own brother's constituency, Okaikwe Central, Akotia. They were all in court, but what happened to their cases? But for me, the case is that they must just decide upon. But coming to the substantive issue, because of the case filed by the Learned Counsel Gary Nimako, his case is solid because you see, we also know what we are doing. The case is now before the Supreme Court, and so as lawyers we are a bit restrained, in discussing, and probably one can say even abusing evidence. But look, the ruling in Nefkumi's case, this ruling came out, I think, somewhere around August. All right.
Yeah, I have a copy of that ruling.
We have a Nefkumi. So
yes.
Go with me to page 7. Go with me to page 7 since we are since we have that
okay.
case.
Page 7.
And page 7, you see, I think the last but one paragraph. The court, and I'm sure the court referred to his own ruling. He said that from the evidence before this court, and this is 21st August 2025.
Yeah.
The copy I have from the registry. From the evidence before this court, it was established that Gazette notification number 234, dated 24th December 2024, was a valid one. We therefore have no difficulty finding that the result of Akotia parliamentary election were gazetted on 24th December 2024 and not 6 January 2025. So this argument my brother is making there, brandishing a seat of January 2025 Gazette notification, has been decided by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court says that they have no doubt that December 2024 Gazette is a valid one. And so where from this issue about the latest entire publication, the Gazette has already come out. That is the date the Electoral Commission gazetted its result for all those that were under consideration. In fact, those that were not ready, they were not gazetted. Those that were not ready, they were not gazetted. So the Electoral Commission published this, and the Supreme Court has affirmed its validity.
So technically, you mean that if Pandai was gazetted on the 24th and other constituencies came in on the 6th of January, it simply means that Pandai's date stays, but
Pandai's date stays,
yeah.
And that is what, of course, we've put before the Supreme Court, that by their own ruling, they are supposed to look at it and make a very definite determination.
Mr. Dafio, have you seen this ruling that John Darko is referring to?
I know.
It's before me, and
I know of that ruling.
Yeah.
I know of that ruling. But you see, but
even before
hold on.
The 24th December Gazette,
yes,
was Pandai part of that Gazette?
I haven't seen it, so I'm unable to tell.
Okay.
But please, I listen to you. John Darko. John, please,
Mr. John Darko, I'll come to you. Let's have his point. I'll come to you on that.
Let's not turn this into a banter. This is the 6th of January 2025.
Yeah.
Gazette notification. This is Pandai. This is the Gazette notification that contains all in one sweep, all the 275 constituencies, minus Ablekumanov at the time. This document contains all. You do not have all the 275 constituencies or 76 constituencies in a certain supposedly dated 24th December 2024 Gazette notification.
But you said supposedly, but the Supreme Court says.
Hold on.
Let me read it. Says
hold on. Let me finish. Okay. Then you can read the Supreme Court because you read it, so I understand what he's trying to say.
Please. Yeah.
But you see, when you go to the Supreme Court with a certain evidence, it is that evidence that the Supreme Court will pronounce on for you. Until at a future date, when a superior evidence is led, then the Supreme Court will be compelled to depart from his position. So the position taken by the Supreme Court is based on a certain 24th December Gazette notification brandished or sworn to in an affidavit before it. But if they are confronted with a 6 January 2025 Gazette notification in respect of all the 275 minus none, maybe Bar Ablekuma North, because that was a matter that was in
special condition, yeah.
Then you think that the Supreme Court will see the probative value of this over the one that does not contain all? So you can make this argument. But this, John, please.
John, you
but this Gazette notification also went before the Superior Court, the High Court. Evidence was led and recanted, and the court agreed that the 6 January Gazette notification is superior to any found in earlier in time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can go to the Supreme Court and say that Esther Shorara should lie. But what is the gravamen of their case? Apart from saying that the petitioner's case was based on a certain 24th December Gazette notification.
But Mr. Dafiamako, this ruling from the Supreme Court is dated 11 June 2025.
Yeah.
Which means if the Supreme Court should be looking at any gazette, recent gazette as you put it, should be able to consider the 6th January 2025. But in the case of NS Kumi, did not consider the 6th of January 2025, but rather concluded on the fact that the 24th December 2025 gazette was the original one.
How can the Supreme Court say that is original? The Supreme Court is not the constitutional body that issued the Gazette notification. So if they don't have any other Gazette notification to compete with its validity, that is what they will say.
But this is 6 June 2025, and what you are referencing is January.
Yes.
That's about 5 months away.
Yes, so 5 months. I mean, before the decision. Yes.
So the Supreme Court should be able to know that there's a new gazette of 6 January 2025.
Yes, but if nobody deposed to that fact,
Okay. So Mr. Dakwa, I'll come to you, but I want to first of all hear from Justice Abdullah. Please go ahead.
You can bring Justice in. I'm sure Justice will allow me to just make my point, then he comes in. Because he seems to be the non-politician here. Look, the NDC is just interesting. You see, my brother, we need to be very consistent in this country. You cannot approbate and reprobate. This 24th December publication, is what the NDC relied on. It formed the basis for causing the arrest and all of that. In fact, they made a police case against our brother Newz on the basis that it was relying on the 6th of December, the 6th of January Gazette instead of 24th. So when the NDC went to court, they actually relied on the 24th December Gazette notification. Now all of a sudden, they are telling us that the 24th December notification is a supposedly Gazette notification that we are bringing. When you have brought this to court, in fact, the court pronounced on the 6th of January notification, and that's the reference I asked you to read. In fact, the court actually made reference to the 6th of January Gazette notification. So it's not as if the Supreme Court didn't know. The Supreme Court was aware. They had generously made a case out of that. It was. You can say that at that point it was our part, and it's me who was making the point that we should rather rely on the 6th of January notification, and the NDC was insisting that it should be the 24th of December notification, and the court agreed with the NDC at the time. Now they don't want to rely on it. I mean, come on, how can we be this inconsistent? We need to elevate the argument in this country. We need to ensure that when we and the principle, when you say A, we should continue to say A if we believe A is the truth. Even when we are going to be killed, let's continue to admit or let's continue to rely on it. Let us not approbate and reprobate. It doesn't help our political discourse.
No, Justice Abdullah, I mean, a cut-off point here is very important because we are looking at a statutory 21-day window that has been created in the Constitution.
I was for a honorable Dafiam upon our face, one of NPP for Minority Council in Parliament. I just ever can say was a MP Edema, a general NPP. I just on any face boot for boot on a joy, a TV. So I just say in commercial training, you know, we say. At the NDC now is speaking in Supreme Court in Yanaba a pandai a case in him because in actions are do akoso said the speaker babin Eddie ruling a do a barbontin kwan befaso na say e senate menya kwan say rerun bebaso and assemble so a speaker babin Eddie ruling by I just say nyina edin etin wasem a okwa fa wana buhun sa ruling nyina edin ewo. Don't know he say a NDC for asatam a another two a seat I just can say a Suhum a seat no any Tema central a seat no and I just Tema court say court and san you be na ruling no embra a enemy because some feel say a that seat no as is in NPP for no occupy no so seat no going to say there are a lot of illegalities akoso no penning empini china because I'm say even though they have a majority in parliament I just can say NDC vote with test nyade and ka bit my thing at no baby because your numbers in dada but the thing is say one fight I'm a dark constituency I'm a no correct prepare ya amba during the next election okoho esa akoka choma say omunza meji na wiem omunji na nsum na omunsa ansala ensa meto aba emma this political party omomma because during 2024 mo banyina mo ye campaign say monto aba ne mayen na one e be protect mo two e be sa protect mo vote ye ma how be ambeche if indeed some otomaya yeah, mo be enchinchim monsa NCC because there are a lot of concerns about those constituent for a raise or more say. Abandi yani etumamu na so no. Yana muntimi protect ballot papers na the good ballot boxes anymore. To be a no, then you pay a person or yedin with jinem and boy constituency no. Sa enye any panel and a ya easier than a bonidin. So some promises say mobile be jinem na say ma protect ye vote dia any better about mama. Na so ma to we. Na so ma we say there are a lot of errors akoso. Na so mo ka say manya all the seat amopɛ dia nti yen fa no nto nje. E time come and also the next election okɔ. Na so ohia mo vote a. Omo hwɛ manim omeka say ma da omo mokasa mundi so enya de say omesa se omadaje asa kugina wiem asa kugina nsum asa line asa akoto abanama mbiem eno ano no omu hwe manim mpo. That's the reason why emfa ho ni sita hodo a NDC wo nyina echi no those minor errors ni nyina omu raise. That's why some say sit ni be free sita hodo mo ni se errors wo ho na e was some moji and some ko rerun and some ko rerun of some polling stations or some ko that's a baby answer no say NPP na image a victory fine o ma fight e hu no kre no so ko ba say NDC for so na image victory and so no de nipa the constituent ne pe no no na the prevail. That's the reason why they are still fighting in court. And it's not like say they are fighting with anything, they are fighting within the law. The man cano and no more person meeting. Umujina so at the fighting. No more team DG city no. See another two city BM and D just say NDC for air fighting. Ama a NPP for NCC from normal loses our city no because of evidences. Odwa more in evidence. Odwa honorable Dafiama po a pulley on live TV. I just say who ya just say NPP MP Natural Society Minority Council no try so or backfire rebuke those evidences and so no or Chinese say still na evidence here then so no matter how be me when you meeting team ni na no the evidence and I say the proof no e ka no and then the be adwuma so nyam dede amobeye Titima mbiti team. Aka say I titi no na more power, na more the executive power, political power, more the force the judiciary, more judiciary ni nya hoto, more yes any money nyina omo fa ho. At the end they know say there are a lot of concerning Ghanaians or mono munimdi. Emfa ho ne ntra mo bedi. Emfa ho kekema mbekekem no. The Ghana for peno no pay. Right now no Ghana for echusu NDC. No na bia mo ho kire mo no. Na vote ahodo amo toma mahama no. Ka dia ka mo work pa ya bia ka mo kra ka mo yimbe mo. Kenya de se kema ya afinyo marking na microphone benya anumpo. And in their mind no they think say Ghana for afio mo. To muti team ye bibia by force scandal bra. So scandal my scandal also no mahama ame ye hu say bibia be niema iti amra no ya dia che say onso so kwa be amra no wadi enkonkwo ye say obi president bi otwema na ma for 20 clearing agent no ono anyesa emra enu bidi sene say. So this is the update if you hold by just a bit much and the comment section. Subscribe and share money or so the new binti for once in your